Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Queens. Seeing as we're recording this at 3 in the afternoon, we're actually going to be drinking coffee. So it's going to be coffee with Queens.
Mm-hmm. Nothing like afternoon coffee, you know?
Because we're not that much of an alcoholic.
Not today.
Not tonight.
Exactly.
I have to work tonight, so...
So no drinking beforehand.
That's what coffee it is.
So this week we wanted to talk about a few big music videos that just came out recently, kind of give our thoughts because they've been getting a lot of buzz on the internet. So I wanted to see what you thought about them. We haven't seen them till just now, so we were able to check them out and kind of go over our thoughts. So we're gonna start first off with the ever lovely Blair St.
I do declare.
Yes, her song "Now or Never."
Mm-hmm.
I personally love the song. Like from the moment the song came out, it's like such a bop for me, and it like. At first, I was like, wasn't sure what to expect with her putting out like a pop song.
Right.
But I listen to this song on repeat all the time. It's so good.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I mean, whenever drag queens come out with a song, like...
There are reasons to have reservations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, by all means, like, if they want to do that, follow your dreams, boo-boo.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? But... You know, most of the ones that come out of Drag Race end up being kind of like low production or just kind of like meh, like not that catchy.
It's more, it's more like the taste level of the music than like the production. The production being good, but I just don't like the music. But this one was different.
This was great though. I mean, and I wonder how much of it had to do with the fact that she actually has like a musical theater background and like working with her producer. Or whoever she worked with. I don't even know like what her team was like for this. Yeah. But clearly she had a lot of creative control. She was the star. And the music video was great though. I thought it was even like a nice like kind of like burst onto the scene after unfortunately she got eliminated. Sad panda. And she even got a couple of cameos in there with like Jinx and Manila, which I thought was really crazy.
That was really cool to see them in there. I personally thought the video was really good. It was super touching. It had like a lot of truth in the story, like with her, drinking at the beginning. I mean, now I don't know if everyone knows, but she's sober and clean at this point. But drinking has obviously been an issue for her in the past. So to tell that story in the video itself, I thought was really beautiful. Give me all the feels.
Definitely. I mean, I cried. I mean, a lot of the lyrics were just really, really touching to me, and like. Kind of like I resonated with them just in terms of, I mean, our time here that we've spent, after moving back home, where you're from and everything, it's just very stagnant around here. So for me personally, I feel like the lyrics about like, rebuilding yourself and like going crazy and like, like resetting essentially.
Yeah.
I really just... We don't need to move away for me to do that. Like, it really has just been like a struggle to kind of hit that reset button while we're here.
It's a place in your mind more than a place where you're physically at. Right.
So for me, just like that whole like concept of resetting and like pulling yourself back together, like I cried. Like, it was just really, really, just really resonated with me.
I did too, especially with like the whole airplane scene. I'm getting kind of like choked up even just thinking about it. But like, there was so much symbolism with it because like, everybody's on the plane. We see all these other characters. The older lady is trying to fix her makeup, then isn't happy with it. We're seeing all these other characters interact too. So clearly there was something to be identified with them too. And then the whole moment of like the plane going through the turbulence, everybody freaking out, and then like once it was like safe, everyone kind of looked like they had like something sort of wash over them and like a moment of like
I didn't even get that.
Yeah, it wasn't just Blair who clearly had that because it was like, the struggle she went through, this big dangerous thing, but she ended up coming out of it, and then with like a newfound appreciation for everything. And like I saw that with like all the people on the plane. So I just thought that was so beautiful.
And it literally like came to life like in terms of like going from black and white to color too. Like it was really
hammer it home.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't even clock about like the other characters so much.
It was like on that plane, everybody had a struggle.
Was, like, struggling. And maybe she, is even like commenting not just like on all like her struggles like through them, but even the fact that like everybody.
Yeah.
It was really great. Also, she looked fucking fabulous in every scene.
That's what I was gonna say.
My favorite was probably the scene where she gets on the plane and she's just like got perfect fucking hourglass proportions and that like sickening like 1920 or like no 50s coat. Like had like the 4 buttons, you know what I'm talking
probably
about?
Probably like 40s, 50s, yeah.
Yeah,
I have to see which one it was again you're talking about. It was
so gorgeous. And then like her grand finale at the end, like after like all of that went down with like the
glamour mansion.
Yeah, the mansion scenes.
I did love those too. They were really, really beautiful, and that one was like the most modern I thought of, like, you know, the whole video, which she has such a unique and really cool style with like, she is really classic, like, drag in a way, but she still is so young and fresh and has these ideas.
Yeah,
merges vintage with the retro, with the future, and, like, I just love her aesthetic, and I thought it was really good styling, especially throughout the video.
I'm sad she went home on Drag Race so soon. I could have definitely used more of her on that runway.
Yeah.
But it seems like she's doing great out there. Looking at you, Blair. Keep it going.
Okay, I loved it overall. How many? I give it 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10.
And they say this is not a legit rating, but I'm just giving it 10 out of 10 right now.
I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10.
Okay. The next video we watched, we heard about it on YouTube from like all the different YouTubers talking about it because it was getting a lot of buzz online. It was Childish Gambino's "This Is America."
Yeah.
Which.
Time out. Do you know what Gambino means?
No, I don't know what his background name is.
I don't either.
We'll have to look it up. I was just going to say, we kind of...
Define Gambino.
It's probably just...
Here's what I found.
It's a crime family?
See, no, that's just a person's last name. It's probably nothing. It's just an artistic name. Like Lady Gaga.
Right. I mean, It sounded like it could mean something, so I was just curious.
No.
So he's a childish Gambino.
You're so silly. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. So anyway, getting back to the story.
Classic line from Ashley Cherry. If you don't know her,
go watch our docu-short,
yes.
Larry to Cherry.
Yes, available on our website and on YouTube.
It's way too quotable for a 40-year-old with MS. But anyway, so getting back to the story for real, the music video. I found out about it through Philip DeFranco,
right.
And he said that I thought it was interesting because he said it was trending in literally every country except for America,
right?
Which is so strange to me because I mean, there's been a lot of drama. If you don't know about like the YouTube trending page and stuff,
right.
Have you heard about anything about that?
Yeah, from Philip DeFranco.
Yeah. So it's just so it's like not. It's clearly like a curated thing to some degree.
Yeah.
But like. It's to me, it's weird that, like, for one, it wasn't trending in America, and yet every other country. And two, for some reason, YouTube, if they did have some kind of control over that, chose to not have it on that page. Probably because there's so much gun violence.
It's super controversial.
Yeah, which is so weird because it's like there's different standards across all the countries.
Do they show things otherwise that are, like, controversial and trending? Not about like race?
Well, I mean, fucking Logan Paul's...
that was trending?
Yeah, but I mean, they obviously... You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Well, yeah, obviously everybody knows.
Yeah, right. Which is interesting because I felt like Jake was more famous before that went down, and now we hear a lot more about Logan now. But anyway, so that was actually on the trending page. So somehow that ended up there, however it happened. So yeah, they've had controversial stuff before, but that got pulled right away. Yeah, just fucking... It's weird to me, because to me it didn't even seem like that... It wasn't that controversial to me. Like, it was clearly, like, artistic. It wasn't, like, a vlog of, like, fucking...
An actual...
Shooting people in the face.
It was an art piece. It wasn't an actual dead person.
Like a vlog, yeah.
It wasn't...
There
were no actual dead people in this video. Yeah. Everyone was, like, acting for the scenes. But I do kind of want to get into the content of it a little bit. Like, one thing was, we kind of had it... I don't want to say spoiled... But it was a little bit spoiled with, like, the Philly D coverage because... Or maybe I saw it somewhere else, too. But either way, I kind of knew the gag because the video is so, like, lighthearted and fun. But I already knew that it was going to be super dramatic with, like, the shooting and all that because that was already spoiled to me. So that might have been a little different. I might have seen a little differently if I hadn't anticipated that. I was just like going along with it, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, but I knew to expect crazy stuff like that happening. So I
honestly had higher expectations for it. Actually.
I expected more to be happening.
Yeah,
I guess.
It was very. I mean, it was very cut and dry in a way to me. Like it was like, I mean, again, maybe it was just like having it spoiled, but to me, it was just kind of. It was a great video. It was a great video. I will say that. But I just, with all the buzz that it had been getting, I was expecting it to be like
more layers,
nuts. Like like basically kind of more of a crazy progression.
I agree.
I mean, to me, it just seemed kind of like, yes, obviously, notes of gun violence, notes of like racial kind of tensions. But beyond that, like, I mean, what was your interpretation? Because I really didn't go much deeper than that.
It was,
to me.
I mean, it was very that. Like, it was this ingredient plus this ingredient equals this, and it was done well.
Yeah.
And it was super interesting with, like I said, like the juxtaposition of the playful dancing around that him and his dancers were doing with all the madness that kind of started happening around him.
But that really is
but
how we are.
But I felt the same way about it, too. Like, I did expect it to go, like, keep upping the ante, which, I mean, I'm sure there were...
It was kind of one note for me.
It kind of was, once you, like, realized what it was about, but I wouldn't even have changed anything about it, like, in the end. I still
it was great.
Thought it was great and really powerful, and, I mean, especially... I mean, the first execution was kind of like, wow, that was the one I knew was going to happen. The second one with, like, the church, like, shoot up, that one was really powerful and symbolic because, I mean... That literally happened with, like, the black church. So, so I'm not surprised that was, included. And I get why it's been, like, getting so much buzz because it's, like, it's super unique and interesting.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads to my other thing I want to talk about. As soon as it started, it was giving me, like, kind of what Janelle Monáe is with her most recent album, where it's, like, this whole thing of, like, these artists, these black artists, are really pulling this subject matter straight into their videos, creating such, like, art pieces around it. Like, Janelle Monáe doing that, like Childish Gambino, Beyonce, they're all really doing that, which we didn't always have that from those people. Like, the black activists in the past, a lot of times, it wasn't these huge artists, So now I think that is really what's going to keep shifting culture in the right direction when it comes to this race stuff. Showing why that video should be trending on YouTube. We need that representation.
True. And that, I mean, relates back to the drama of it, is like the things that should be trending aren't necessarily because YouTube is like shaking in their boots that they're going to lose advertisers and all this shit, like, they're like so concerned with like being PC that they're like not using the platform for what it could be used for, which is like to promote kind of like a better understanding between everybody, in my opinion, because of like, I mean, I'm very much of the school that like if it's for art, like kind of a lot of stuff goes, like so like the gun violence in that should not negate like the message behind it, especially whenever it's done in a clearly like artistic way, at least in my opinion. Granted, they do have a lot of like, kids on YouTube and stuff, and I don't know how much they can really understand about that, but still, there's still a large amount of adults that are on there, adults that need to see, another perspective. In an artistic way, like you were saying, to help move and progress,
that needle further.
Yeah, exactly. It's doing a hell of a lot more with that than rioting in the streets. Like nobody's going to listen to those people, but somebody might see a music video like that, see that it's artistically done if they're of sound mind, and kind of like it gets them thinking. You know? It's all just like the needle, like you said, like just slightly moving it a little bit at a time. Whereas like arguing over all the other bullshit.
And that's the thing, like the angle he's taking, or in all these artists are taking, like I said, is like creating something and putting it out there and letting that get in your mind rather than like, you need to do this!
You need to listen to me!
So wrong and twisted!
Yeah, it's terrible.
So I was really happy with it. I thought it was a really good piece. I'm not surprised it's gotten all the attention it has because it's super interesting. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
also the end scene whenever he was running away. It seemed like that was like from white people.
I thought that, but I thought there were black people in there too. Yeah, so I was wondering.
That was okay. So that was
the part I didn't totally get what exactly he wanted to. What his angle was.
Well, I was wondering if it was about like penance or like justice, basically, like. So, like, he was the one committing these acts. Right. So was that, like, basically, like, justice coming for him? Which is a way to kind of, like, tie it all back together. That like,
maybe.
That will, like, will come back to you. I don't know. Or was it more of, like, were they all white people and it was more of another, like, layer to the racial comment? Right. But either way, I definitely want to rewatch it now, actually, and find out
that was
if we can,
part...
like, see, because...
I thought that when we watched it, and I looked to see if it was all white people. It was mostly white people, but I swore there were black people in there too, which made me wonder, what was the message behind that final scene? Because, like we said, the rough's pretty obvious, and that one left a little more to be like, I thought. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, the third and final video we watched today was Shea Coulee's Crème Brûlée. I liked it visually a lot, I really liked the monochromatic, like, lighting that she had in every scene, props to you guys for that one. It was really beautiful. I'm such a fan of, like, I love, like, in terms of, like, a spectrum of, like artistically, like, if you have, like, solids and patterns, and if you have, like, uniformity and like variety, I'd much prefer like uniformity and solids. So like to have it all like every scene be so cohesive with like that color wash, it was just really pleasing to me. Especially with like the glamour and like the filthy nature of like all the liquids. Like every single like little themed scene had some sort of like liquids in it. I don't know. I thought it was a really great video. The song. No, I mean, it wasn't my taste, and if I'm being 100% honest, the production on, like, the actual audio could have upped the decibels a little bit, because compared to the previous two videos that we watched, on your little MacBook Air that doesn't have the best of speakers, with the volume all the way up, like, the audio was just, like, low.
Yeah.
Period.
Which didn't help with the type of music it was. Yeah. She was rapping, so it's like... What was that, Shea?
Yeah.
One more time?
But the other two videos, there was no problem. It was really well mastered, like, in terms of the audio. But that stuff's, I mean,
hello, it's hard to do, all right? I'm a lot on the same page with you with this one, because, like, the visuals were so there. Shea Coulee is one of my favorite drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race of all time. Like, I love her. She's from Chicago. She kills it, like, performances. She kills it visually. Like, she always looks on point. She's so creative. So... I knew the visuals were so going to be there, because she also has an amazing team when it comes to that. Like, her stylist,
she's great.
Yeah. Like, all her collaborators do really great stuff. I'm on the same page with you. The music was just not what I was most, liking about the entire thing. Like, it just wasn't quite there. I mean, for instance, I appreciated, like, when she does more of, like, actually, like, focus on like singing, like from her last album with like Feeling So. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, that was a great one.
And she sounds amazing singing, which I didn't know she could sing either.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's a bad rapper by any means, but I didn't really get to appreciate it with like how hard it was kind of to hear, and she's just giving you so much, and then you're like...
There wasn't enough ebb and flow for my taste.
No. And it's similar like that with the video, too. Even though all the visuals were on point, there was 73,000 different, like... I felt like scenes of Shea just being like, I'm sick, and they were all too similar, almost, for me to, like, even clock the differences. Comparing it to Blair's video, where it was like... This is a story happening, like, we'd see a look she would do, and it would be, like, on the TV she'd be watching also, so it was, like, things like that were kind of lacking in the video for me, but, like I said, overall, they killed it with, like, the staging and, like, the actual production in that way, so, I don't know, I feel bad even saying it, though, because I love her so much. And I don't want to be critical of, like, her art in that way when we've been, like, speaking about someone else. Especially when I respect her so much. But I just did not love the music. Like, she certainly wasn't coming for Cardi B.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
No. Can't be perfect all the time, though. Overall, I think her career is on a great trajectory. Top 3 Drag Race. she's doing fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that said, obviously out of the 3 videos, I think it'd be kind of cool to just say which was your favorite one. I'm gonna say at the same time.
I mean, do we even need to say at the same time? Obviously, it was Now or Never. Yeah, Blair St.
Which is crazy because I mean, I don't know any. I mean, she's probably the least famous of those 3.
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, I think that's really there's something to be said about that. But it had a great narrative. It had a great progression, like variety, like the ebbs and flows that we talked about. And I really feel like she took it there. And again, it's the only one that I actually like cried in. So like emotionally, I was connected to it. Childish Gambino, I still feel like that could have been taken like one step further. Like even just like a cutscene of him like doing something even crazier.
That's what I expected, like a break in the current storyline, like as Now or Never had with the whole airplane scene with the acting.
So either way, yeah.
I haven't seen much of his other work though, so I don't really know to compare.
I haven't either.
To his other videos, which he might have a certain style he does, So
either way, props to you.
Props to you, Mama.
Right. All right. So thank you guys so much for listening. Again, this has been Cocktails with Queens. I'm Clayton,
and I'm Jordan.
Yep. You can find us on Instagram. Mine is just Clayton CHVZ. And Jordan.
Yep, you can just find us at In Between Branches on all social media. And as always, sponsored by our Etsy shop, inbetweenbranches.etsy.com.
That's right. And there is a coupon code, correct?
I'll post it in the info because I don't know what it is.
I can't remember what it is right now either. I was hoping you would know. Anyway, so yeah, go visit our Etsy store.
Yeah.
The coupon's gonna be really great, whatever it is. I promise, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Mwah.
Bye.